Kia ora tātou. It's wonderful to have so many people join us tonight for this webinar, an introduction webinar for our course, Visual Arts and Inquiry in Early Childhood. Yes, we'll begin with a karakia and some introductions. And other than that, the aim of this webinar tonight is just to really help you to familiarise yourself with the course and the course activities and the website and expectations. So let's get started. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Ko Vicky Hargraves aho. Tēnā tātou katoa e hui hui nei I tēnei rā. Koia nei te kaupapa mō tātou akamonga. Kia kaha tātou ki te mahi tahi I roto I te aroha. Kia whai whakaro ki etahi atu mi o rātou whakaro. Kia mahia a tātou mahi I roto I te koa mi te ihihitanga. Kia honoa tātou hei whānau a konga kotahi. Tēnā anō tātou katoa. So with that, a warm welcome to tonight's webinar and to the first day of our first cohort of the Visual Arts and Inquiry course. Let me just introduce myself. My name is Vicky Hargraves. I'm a mother. I've got two beautiful children, an early childhood teacher and trained also as a primary teacher a very long time ago. A researcher. I've also been a leader in early childhood centres, and I've long held an interest in the arts, and occasionally I like to dabble with doing a little bit of art myself, but I think my real passion is for this concept of inquiry, children's thinking, their working theories, just listening to children talk about their understandings of the world, and all of this can be really well facilitated through the visual arts, hence why we've put these two things together in the course. Yeah, a long time ago, I saw an exhibition by Reggio Emilia group, the 100 Languages of Children, and I was just fascinated and amazed by children's thinking and ideas and how that had been accessed so richly through the arts. So yeah, what this course is about, it's called Visual Arts and Inquiry. And although we've foregrounded that word visual arts in the title there, I really want to stress at the outset that this course is really about helping you to create programs for children that are really engaging and cognitively challenging, really looking at this idea of inquiry for children. We're looking at visual arts as a tool for encouraging children to think and communicate their thinking, to investigate ideas. I guess it's about teachers asking really provocative questions and children using the arts to explore those things, to hypothesize and explain their ideas and to collaborate on creating knowledge together. Yeah, I think shared inquiry is really the driver of children's use of the visual arts. And art isn't just for children to communicate their ideas, but it also helps children to think differently about those ideas. So it's a really magical part of the curriculum that we can be offering, and I think as a teacher it really inspires and excites you when you engage in this kind of work with children. So I do really hope that you enjoy the course. I guess that although we will look at art techniques and we will look at things like you know, like the way that you might teach the arts, but it's really more about the kinds of cognitive engagements that children can access with the arts, or rather than things like, you know, how they might use the clay or how they might mix paint colours, although there is a bit of that. So I hope it will be really useful to you. So we've written the course for people who are interested in using the arts with children to communicate and explore their ideas and their working theories about the world. You don't need to be an artist, but it is a good idea to be kind of willing to have a go and develop your confidence about using art, because this is what you're going to expect of children. Okay, so that's a little bit about me and a little bit about the course. Before we go into kind of what's required, I would love to hear a little bit from you. So if you have a chat function, and lots of you are using it already to say good evening. So please, I wonder if you have just a few moments just to write a very brief introduction. And we do have 200 of you on tonight, so I won't be able to greet you all personally, but it would be lovely if you could just write down something about yourself, maybe the reason that you're taking the course or what you're hoping to get out of the course, and we can all have a read of each other's introductions. So ensure that you have your chat at the bottom. It does say to everyone. Make sure that you're typing to everyone. Some of you have got it set to hosts and panelists, and that means only I can see it. So yeah, good evening, everyone. Lots of people coming from all over the place. That's wonderful. I know we have some people internationally enrolled on the course. Yes, and I'm sure great to have some artists. I confess I'm not an artist. I'm just a keen dabbler. But great if we have some artists and teachers working with us on this course. Yeah, I agree with you, Wendy. Children's natural curiosity and enthusiasm. Yeah. Yeah, great that people have got really positive, I love artists coming through, because some people can be really put off art early in their early childhood, perhaps, where they feel like they maybe didn't do art correctly, or they weren't any good at it, and that can really put you off, can't it? So great to see you, Guy Lindsay. I know some of your work. Yeah, we are going to include across the age ranges. I'm passionate that infants and toddlers can engage in visual arts activities too and start exploring their ideas through the visual arts. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Hi, Marguerite. We'll see more of you in the course. Lovely. We have Marguerite from Kids Domain, who's actually helped us with a lot of the content from the course. So yeah, great that everyone's feeling so excited. And a great idea to be including arts as inquiry as part of a professional growth cycle. I wonder if people some people are doing this course together as a team. I imagine that would be a really powerful way to really cement some ideas about how you might work with both inquiry and visual arts with children. I hope you really enjoy the course, and it's really great to see so much excitement. And just, yeah, I think just the eagerness to learn. It doesn't matter if you're not an artist. Yeah. Okay, I will have a proper read of those through later because they came through so fast, but lovely to meet you all. And I hope to chat to you through the course as the course goes on. So let's just talk a little bit about what the course involves. We've structured it into 8 parts over 5 modules. So some of the modules are a bit bigger, and we expect that they might take, so we split them into 2 parts, and so they might take a little bit longer. The idea is to complete 1 part per week, so 8 parts, 8 weeks, and it's approximately an hour's work each week. So we really see it as something that you can do within your working week that just sort of provokes your thinking and something you can use in your workplace on a daily basis too. So some of the work's quite independent. There's some readings. You can read the readings online, writing personal reflections. We encourage quite a bit of that too. And then some of the other work requires a bit more planning because we'll be asking you to spending some time of your working day in your centre, if you are a teacher, trying out some of the ideas with children. We've got some activities for you to try out. But the good thing about that is it's just something you can do in your everyday teaching and learning with children. And we want it to really easily feed into your planning. So things you're already doing, things the children are already thinking about, and we just want to help you to embed some visual arts experiences into that. A really great part of this course, what I think is one of the most valuable parts of this course, is we've got 3 fabulous case studies centres, and we've interviewed teachers at centres that are already using the visual arts to promote children's inquiry heavily in a really big part of their programme. So really inspiring case studies. We have Tots Corner, we have Kids Domain, and we have Pakavanga Baptist Kindergarten, all of those in Auckland. And I think when you can see how teachers are actually using some of these ideas and how it actually looks in practice, it's really, really powerful. So I think you'll really enjoy those. Okay, so the course begins with a bit of the rationale for including the visual arts in curricular programs for children and all the varied learning outcomes that engagement with the arts promotes. And one of the key things there is about how using the arts can really promote children's thinking and their cognition. Then we're also going to learn about how the teacher's role in facilitating arts experiences. And I think that's a really good place to start, because actually often we have a lot of questions about what we should do when children are making art. I know something I've always struggled with is what do you do when a child asks you to draw for them? So we'll clear up some of those ideas. And in this course, we're not advocating for a hands-off approach. We're not, that's often been an idea that, you know, we shouldn't interfere with children's art. We might put them off. We might influence them in some way, and it should be very freely coming from the free expression coming from the child. We're not really advocating for that anymore. But we're also not advocating for an overly directed approach. What we're really looking for is something in the middle, a kind of mediating role, a guiding role, where the teacher has some influence, but is supporting the child's, I guess, their own intentions of the artworks. We'll learn all about this as the course goes on. And we're also going to look at how you might plan for art experiences, and just some really good planning prompts that we've come up with that hopefully help you to do that, so you can include visual arts ideas in your planning. You're also going to see how the visual arts can be integrated into inquiries, and actually how, you know, that thinking and that inquiry becomes the reason why children pick up art materials and start using them to think more clearly about an idea. And finally, we're going to look at the materials and environments that you might provide to encourage a really rich visual arts culture in your centre. And as I said, within the course, there are a range of provocations to get you inquiring with children about the children's own questions and interests using the visual arts. And that's really designed for you to be putting into practice what you're learning, and really trying to enable you to explore what the visual arts might do to extend and enhance your curriculum. We're all in very different settings. We have very different children. So it's great to be inspired by a case study, but you really need to kind of work with this over many weeks to see, you know, what's really going to work and where your starting point is. When you come to look at the case studies, you know, this is years of experimenting and working and creating this sort of visual arts culture in the respective centres. So it's going to take some work on your part too, and we hope that the activities and prompts that we have are really going to help you to do that. Okay. One really useful thing that I'd like to sort of stress that you could start thinking about now as you start the course is to just be thinking about and observing what kinds of things the children are really interested in exploring and enjoying in their play right now. And as you get to the activities in the course, you'll be asked to connect the ideas for visual arts experiences that we're explaining and the theory there to children's current interests and inquiries. So it's a really good idea if you can sort of be aware over the next couple of weeks of noticing and thinking about what kinds of really interesting questions and topics that the children seem to be inquiring about and seem to be interested in exploring. And if you work with infants and toddlers, looking at those schema, the kind of materials that children really like to use, the objects, kind of actions that they're putting together with objects. Those are the things that you could really be watching for to sort of feed into your visual arts experiences as the course goes on. I think just being able to connect your course activities to children's current learning is just going to make what you learn from this course a lot more relevant, and it's also going to be just so much more meaningful. So yeah, I encourage you to maybe be thinking about that as you start the course this week. Another thing that can help you get the most out of the course is we have an online forum, and each week we offer a question to kind of get you started talking on the forum about some of your ideas or your difficulties or you know, your current practice around visual arts. And that's a great opportunity to hear from other teachers as well, what they're doing in their centres or what they're struggling with or how they structure inquiry in their setting. And we've got so much to learn from each other. I learned so much from the online forums. So I strongly encourage you to utilise that part of the course. And I also hop onto the forum weekly, and I like to chat with you too. So do check back and see if I've replied to your posts, as I might well have done. Yeah, I'll do my best with 200 of you enrolled. Okay. At the end, we'll have a sort of opportunity to ask questions. I guess, you know, I'm just encouraging you to, you know, as with most things, if you know, the more you put into it, the more you can get out of it. So yeah, I really encourage you to engage with all those sort of practical parts of the course, as well as the sort of written content and video content that's online. So let's take a look at the course. I'm going to share my screen and show you how to access the course on the Education Hub's website, and just briefly to show you some of the different elements. So just bear with me a second, I'll share my screen. Okay, so there you can see that I have logged on to the Education Hub screen, and while we've been talking, it's managed to black itself out. I need to just click on that and remove that. I want to sign in. Okay, right, so yeah, there's the educationhub.org.nz. You probably have had a go at this today, but anyway, let's have a look and hope that mine works. I'm going to click on sign in up there in the corner and then put in my name and password. And that will take me to my kind of login page. No, I have to click on my name up there now, and that will take me into my login page. There it is, my profile page. So on your profile page, if you just scroll down, it will say your courses, and you should have the Visual Arts and ECE course written there. And you can click on that, and there you go. There's the course content all there. So what I wanted to show you was the online forums. So they're down here. You can see a link on the right hand side. You can see links to everything. So on the right hand side there, we've got a link to the online forums. We've also got links now. These are only just live today, aren't they? To the course content. So you should be able to click on module 1, and this one is module 1, only has one part, so you can just click through, and we have quite a clear introduction to let you know what you're doing, and then all the way through the different activities, the videos, the readings, and it's all just there on the same page. And this is what we're envisaging to be an hour's work, which of course you can take at your own pace. And as I mentioned, the forums, when you're in module 1, just click on the right there to access the online from there. And great, we've got some people introducing themselves already. So I think that's what I really need to show you about the website. Amanda at the Education Hub, she is the person to contact if you have any technical difficulties. So I'll just put her email address. I've just popped something in the chat there with Amanda's email address. In mid-December, a couple of weeks after the end of the course, we're going to have another webinar, and the aim of that one is just to revisit some key ideas and for you to share your reflections, successes or insights. You know, that would be really lovely if we can join together to do that. Again, it's just an opportunity to ask questions, an opportunity to hear what other people have been doing and just learn from each other. Yeah. Okay, I've been talking for about 20 minutes now. Does anyone have any questions about the course? Again, we'll type them into the chat. I think that's probably the easiest way with so many of you on tonight. And I will just give you a couple of minutes to do that. Hopefully everyone's been able to access the course today. Certainly I've had trouble in the past, and Amanda's been great, so just do let her know if you have any trouble. Yes, sure. We are. This has been recorded, this webinar. The end of the course webinar will also be recorded. So if you weren't able to make it, or if you've missed something tonight, or you just want to rewatch it, it will be available, I should think, by tomorrow within that course part, the visual arts course part of the website. So that's a good question, Shanna, about, I presume you're asking for are you asking if you can maybe access the content after the whole course, or to access the webinar? I think that the resources, certainly the written resources that are on the course, can be printed. So that's one thing you could do, is actually print the course. It will be, at some point, it will be closed off to you, so you have access for a certain amount of time. But I don't know if that will be forever. But you're right, it's nice to be able to revisit things. Certainly you can move backwards and forwards through the modules, and we definitely have the course open for a good few weeks after the official close of the course. Yeah, the practical parts will be hard during lockdown, won't they, Janelle? I agree. We're really hoping that things change soon for you guys in Auckland. I think it will be difficult to do the practical parts of the course without actual children. I'm hoping that, you know, as I say, some of you might have access to that. It might just be something that you have to put on hold until some time that you do have access to your centre and your children again. And I'm sure we can support you with that if it's something that you want to delay finishing the course for some time. Melinda, I think that you would have, you should be able to log into the Education Hub, and the course should be there. Yeah, all hoping that you guys can leave your restrictions soon. Yes, login ID. You should have, you should already have a login ID to be able to log on to that to sign into the Education Hub. If you don't, then I would definitely email Amanda and ask for that. Once you log in, it should just be sat there. You don't actually need to do anything to log into the course, but you do need to be a registered user. I think that it will work okay on an iPhone. I don't know, Aggie. I'd be interested to know how that works out for you. My personal experience is sometimes things are harder when you're trying to do it on an iPhone, but it should work, yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for all your warm greetings. I will go back and read all of those. It's really lovely to sort of feel that I'm meeting you guys. Excuse me. Yeah, I really hope that you get a lot out of the course. I look forward to seeing you in the online forum and chatting with you there as we go through the course. And yes, fingers crossed that you guys can get into your centres in Auckland and actually put this into practice. We've got a couple more weeks before there is actually any sort of practical with children kind of activity. So fingers crossed. Yes. Well, thank you so much for your enthusiasm. Thank you for joining us tonight. And I look forward to chatting with you as the course goes on. Ka kite.